All the talk is about how British footballers are flourishing away from England. Jadon Sancho is a star at Borussia Dortmund, Reiss is enhancing his reputation at Hoffenheim, while Ademola Lookman showed everyone what he was capable of last season at RB Leipzig. But not every player has been a success when they've tried a different footballing culture. Here are 9 British players who flopped abroad. Number 1, Mark Hughes. While management hasn't been kind to Mark Hughes in recent years, or recent weeks, there is no doubting his talent on the pitch. The referee abusing Welshman is a Manchester United legend, performing brilliantly across 2 spells for the club, winning 2 Premier Leagues, 3 FA Cups, a League Cup and many more honours. But in between those spells at Old Trafford, Hughes tested his ability away from the United Kingdom. In 1986, Terry Venables brought Hughes to Barcelona for £2 million, pairing him with another Brit, Gary Lineker. And while the match of the day host thrived, Hughes struggled in Spain, spending 1 season there before going on loan to Bayern Munich, where things didn't get any easier. By 1988 he was back at Manchester United, as he set about pretending the whole thing was just a nightmare where he got a nice tan. Number 2, Kyle Lafferty. If you had to think of a way to describe Rangers striker Kyle Lafferty, what would you say? Well, Palermo president Maurizio Zamparini described him as an out-of-control womaniser. The Northern Irish centre-forward left Rangers in 2012, signing a 3-year deal with Swiss side FC Sion. The goals didn't particularly flow in Switzerland, bagging 5 league goals in his one and only season there. A year later he was off to Italy, tasked with helping Palermo return to Serie A. He did just that, scoring 11 goals. So in that sense it was a success, but the Palermo's president's comments suggest things weren't that easy. He'd also last just a year there, and he was also had a loan spell in Turkey for Rizespor. That wasn't fruitful either. Out of control womaniser. Number 3, Dale Jennings. In what was one of the weirdest transfers maybe ever, Bayern Munich signed a young English lad by the name of Dale Jennings in 2011. At the time he was just 18 years old and had just been named Tranmere Rovers as Young Player of the Season. Seemingly that was enough for Bayern to snap him up, and Jennings would link up with the Germans' reserve side. Injuries would hinder his time there, and 2 years later he was back in England, signing for Barnsley for just $250,000. Now aged 25, Jennings is playing for Runcorn after taking some time out of the game as he looks to rebuild his career. Good luck to you, Dale, all the best. Number 4, Ian Rush. While Mo Salah scored a bucket full of goals last season, no one has scored more Liverpool goals than Ian Rush. The forward is the club's all-time leading scorer with 346 goals, but even he couldn't fully hack it away from English shores. The Welsh striker was signed by Juventus in 1986 for £2 million, only for Rush to remain at Anfield for another season on loan. In 1987 he would eventually head to Italy, though he probably wished he'd never bothered. Coming up against much more rigid defences, Rush struggled in front of goal and returned to Liverpool after a year, where he rediscovered the golden touch in front of goal. While the quotes of describing his time in Turin as like living in a foreign country are fake, Rush did admit that he struggled to adapt over in Italy. Number 5, Michael Owen. To be fair, this might be a bit harsh, as Michael Owen ended his time in Madrid with a fairly decent goal return. By the time his first season had ended, Owen had scored 16 goals in 45 appearances, which isn't bad considering he wasn't a regular starter. But the English striker never really cut the mustard at the Bernabeu, joining in 2004 from Liverpool for just £8 million. It was the Galactico era for Real, signing players they probably didn't really need. And after just 1 season, just like Ian Rush, Owen was back in England, but would join Newcastle rather than return to Liverpool. While you can't blame his move to Madrid, Owen's career never really recovered, and then he spoilt himself by spending most of his time at Newcastle injured and then joining Man United. But at least his horses loved him, I imagine. Number 6, Jermaine Pennant. It's another player who left Liverpool to go abroad, and another player who struggled. But to be fair, at least Ian Rush and Michael Owen had very good Liverpool careers, whereas Pennant was never consistent during his time at Anfield. In 2009, the winger packed his bags and headed to Spain, signing a 3-year deal with Real Zaragoza after being released by the Reds. While he was out of the spotlight, the move didn't work out, as he and his teammates struggled near the bottom of La Liga. By February 2010, Pennant was out of the picture, being disciplined by the club for turning up late to training on multiple occasions. He would get a move to Stoke that summer, and he was so excited he left his car in Spain. And this wouldn't be Pennant's only spell abroad, also playing for Pune City and Tampine Rovers. Number 7, Ravel Morrison. Once considered one of the most talented young English players around, Ravel Morrison's career has fell off a cliff. Binned off by Sir Alex Ferguson, the midfielder was handed a chance at West Ham, and it looked like his career had liftoff when he scored a stunning solo goal against Tottenham. That was in 2013, and 5 years on and he's in the final year of a Lazio contract, so there's still time for him to resurrect his career away from England. But considering he's nowhere near the first team and spent last season on loan at Mexican side Atlas, I doubt that's going to happen. Since arriving in Italy, Morrison has made just 8 appearances, but I doubt he'll make any more between now and the end of his contract. Number 8, Jonathan Woodgate. Had it not been for injuries, a red card and an own goal, Jonathan Woodgate's time at Real Madrid would probably be remembered much more fondly. The centre-back left Newcastle in August 2004 for £13 million, heading to Spain in a shock move. Even before moving to Madrid, Woodgate had bother with injuries, and these issues only got worse away from home. The defender spent 2 years with Real and actually did okay at times when he wasn't spending his time in the physio's room, but in August 2006 he returned to the northeast with Middlesbrough. And 1 year later, he was voted the worst signing of the 21st century by readers of Spanish newspaper Marca. Seems a bit harsh, I didn't think his move to Middlesbrough was that bad. Number 9, Barton. He's a man that can't escape controversy, and it even followed him all the way to France. Barton received a 12-match ban following his antics against Manchester City for QPR, and that ban was upheld when he headed on loan to Marseille for the season. While still able to play in the Europa League, Barton would actually do okay in a Marseille shirt, thriving in the slow-paced French league. But as always, the off-field issues refused to go away. There was the comical French accent in a press conference, then Barton got a ban for saying that Thiago Silva looked like an overweight ladyboy on Twitter, and he would also mix it up with Zlatan Ibrahimovic by signalling to the Swede that he had a massive nose. Childish antics, and Barton would not be re-signed in the summer due to financial differences. Lauded by the fans, the midfielder was loved in Marseille, but it was just another chapter in the crazy career of Barton. So those were 9 British players who flopped abroad. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.